the parents, in order to portray them in the wrong light to steal our babies. Another issue. And then we have a grooming gang problem in the public outside, where we know the stats of it. It has been happening, and it's all going to have to stop. And whether they like it or not, everybody is going to be held accountable for it. We're not going to leave it to where some people say, leave it to God. Are you kidding me? I don't think so. As a Muslim, I don't think so. As a Christian, you should also be saying, I don't think so. Why? Because what are we going to answer to God Almighty tomorrow when our time comes? That we knew about it and we were waiting for him? So what was the purpose of us knowing about it? Are we not supposed to be protecting our vulnerable, regardless of what background they're from? Just have a good think about it. Everybody needs to be supporting, by the way. Brad, you've jumped off. I'm not sure if you wanted to jump off, but I know sometimes it does drop people for unknown apparent reasons, because they probably don't like the reality coming out. They don't like people uniting, and it does affect them. But I'm very proud of that young man, actually. The fact that such a young man, 21-year-old, was so awake. And, you know, I think I couldn't have put it any better than what Sister Afghan said. You know what I mean? They are the future, and we need to do whatever it takes now for people like him, for the youngsters like him. Because by the time it gets to our grandchildren, we may not be here. And if we're not here, they're the ones that are going to lead the way. You know, everybody watches movies. Everybody loves watching Hollywood. You know, and in the movies, you watch films like V, and there's so many, you know, when we talk about the resistance, and we're always cheering on the resistance in the Hollywood movies. Yet in real life, real time, this is what you would say the resistance is. Not just here, there's millions of people like this in England alone, but it's throughout the whole world. This is the real time resistance that's taking place. Why isn't people all coming together to support this resistance? It's very shocking. In schools, they should learn useful things. Yeah, you're right. But right now, the sexually exploitation of our children is happening. And you got to think out the box sometimes. Why? And I have to think like that because everything in general that I've learned of the authorities when they talk about all these crimes, emotional abuse. Look, for example, emotional abuse is a wrong, is a crime. Yet social services come to our homes and they steal our children on future risk of emotional harm. In other words, they're looking at somebody's backside and thinking that, oh yeah, somebody's child's going to be abused in the future. What kind of nonsense is this? But they steal our children. But do you know what the first thing they create on that child is? Emotional abuse. And they call this a democracy. They call this safeguard and child protection. Then we could go to the next one, neglecting children. Do they neglect children? Our children in their care? Absolutely, all the time. Do they allow crimes to take place on our children behind closed doors, in front of them? Yes, they do. But all they got to do is report it in the documents that one of the parents' houses, they have been doing it. And the judge will just go along with this. What a load of nonsense this is. People better start waking up. These are fact findings, by the way, not your crap findings. If you want to ask me questions, feel free to do so. But on public media, for example, I can't exactly show you the evidence. It's not a platform that you could do that. We do have private meetings where we can show you the evidence as well. Sorry, Afghan sister, please go ahead.
In Canada, not New Brunswick, but British Columbia, there was a young gentleman in a cafe and a psychiatrist. She was sitting there evaluating this young man who speaks out like us. And there's a law where she had the authority to call the police and force him in to a hospital for evaluation, and now they won't let him out. There's nothing wrong with him. He's just speaking like us. That's a law in Canada, British Columbia.
Wow. All people
It's getting out of control.
It is definitely getting out of control, but I'm just going to answer one because I'm trying to keep up the message as well. Nicola, I believe it is. People won't wake up. I will give you the good news. The people are awake. In the whole world, people are awake. It's a global awakening. Everybody's waking up to it. The problem is, this is why I keep requesting people to come forward. A majority of them are nervous, they're scared, or we would say they're the sheep, the flock. And we need people to come forward now to represent and support in each town and city to give them encouragement so they'll come forward and support the cause. So in general, you are having a global awakening, a massive global shift is happening. These predators, people keep pointing at the top. People at the top are getting dealt with. The reason why President Trump has not been dealt with because you have a system in the West all about kiddie fiddling protection. Okay, so I'll give you an example. Tony Blair just went to put a bill in, and the bill that he just passed is anybody who's got positions of power in England, Wales, Ireland, and Scotland, they're connected. The bill says that if they're linked to anything to do with pedophilia and grooming, that it's got to be covered up for 100 years. The same history is repeated. They're making the laws and acts and statutes to cover themselves up. Look at what JFK, what happened, the murder. And they said they can't talk about it for 50 years. Why? So people could live their normal life. Where's the justice in that? That's a load of nonsense. Somebody asked, how can we help? Look, if anybody wants to help and support, I do know in the next 2 days, we got private Zoom meetings. If you contact us through www.lcs.news, go into where it says contact us, submit a ticket, and just put in the subject that you want to volunteer to help and support. That's it. And there will be somebody who will get in touch with you. They will still vet you to a degree because we're always conscious because a lot of predators out there, a lot of people try to sneak in. We can't allow that. But if you're genuine members of the public, and it could be anybody, I'm not bothered what background you're from, because this is about humanity. And we are standing. And if you want evidence and information, you want to join that, feel free, because at least on that platform, and you ask for the evidence, we could present it there and there. This is TikTok. We can't present the evidence on here. It doesn't not have the facilities. You see? So including, for example, I do talk about, and I've got a list in front of me here, and actually, I don't know where to even begin half the time. You know, if you want your MP's list of kiddie fiddling, part of grooming or sexual exploitation, please request it. I'm more than happy to give you that information, because once you learn that our MP's been at this for a long time, then it'll help you to understand that. Then you understand why it's happening on the outside, because a lot of predators on the outside are actually connected with people who are either your councillors, MPs, mayors, or even in the police departments. And this is a shock. Go with Afghan sister.
I did receive the information that you sent me. We went through a little hiccup, I would call it. You did send it to me 2 different emails, and they restricted that, but I did receive it through WhatsApp, so I do appreciate getting that information. And what was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, I have not attended a Zoom call yet. So I would like to be a part of that if possible. And I wanted to say that I was in a hearing over the phone representing my brother and my niece, and their attorney screeched and hollered like a 2-year-old when the judge asked who else was in the hearing. I just said my name and that I was the niece, and she freaked out. They are not for us. They are not for us to keep our family. I'm Indigenous. I live on a farm, don't smoke or drink, been helping the homeless for 30 years, raised all of my children, always helped extra, I'm here for everybody. And they hate me for it. She screamed and hollered till the judge disconnected me.
Oh my gosh. Well,
She threw a
firstly,
tantrum.
right, the judges are going to do a tantrum because everything is coming out now. They don't know what to do, and they're more desperate now than ever before, where they're trying to get as many children as possible to do as much damage as possible. And they are going to
Yeah.
have a problem. But I want to make it clear for everybody as well. And even though there's people who are dealing with the top, it's our responsibility at the bottom because it's where we are right now, where children are taken, mistreated, abused. You understand? So stop focusing on the top. Let the people at the top do what they need to do. We need to deal with the bottom because this is where the problem is. So when we talk about child trafficking, which I'll bring out now, let me make it clear. Social services, manufacture documents, manufacture concerns, manufacture crimes, provide false information to the judges and other professionals to steal our children. Then once you start passing our children about, hostel to hostel or foster care to foster care, or get rid of them in adoptions, this is what's known as child trafficking. Okay.
They
Yeah,
did
we
that
are
with
dealing.
her
Yeah.
at 3.
Say again after,
And now they
sister.
have her in a mental institution. They picked her up at the age of 3, and she turned 11 in March, and they already sex trafficked her. And after I fought for her to get back to her father, they picked her up in a month, and I haven't spoken to her. They put her in a mental institution. They shaved her head and gave her earrings. And I don't know what else to do. Like, these people are out of control. Why would
Yeah.
you not want to send a child to a farm with a community garden and dogs and horses and hens and eggs? What's a mental institution going to do? They wanted to sex traffic her and send her to Walt Disney World as soon as she got back to her father. This is all happening all through Canada.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with you. And this is disgusting. And this is the reason why we need to take control of ourselves in what is happening. And I know Lone Wolf mentioned there that we are dealing with people on the top as well. Lone Wolf, I just want to make it clear. In general, I want the public to focus at the bottom. It's only those who can fight back on that part, they can. And that side of it, we're more than happy to share with you evidence of more that we're doing, including everybody in the top in the UK that they're trying to keep silence. Because the reason why I'm going to explain these people, the reason why we're dealing with that side of it, because now we have evidence that these are the people who have been inciting violence against me and many, many others around me. All of them are victims of either child sexual abuse or social services scandal. And they've been targeting us to keep us quiet. And as time went on for the last 28 months, we've now caught them and who they linked with in positions of power. And now we're exposing them at the same time. Because remember, our motto is very simple. We don't care what color, what creed, what religion, what title they are. There's no exemption notices. Nobody showed me exemption notices to say these people could do these kiddie fiddling problems and unaliving children. And we should just say, okay, sir. I don't think so. So we are maybe arrogant, but it's not arrogant. It's we're passionate about saving our nation, saving our children, but not just here now. We're passionate about humanity. Everybody, I want to remind everybody exactly what Afghan says. Everybody is coming together. Canada, America, France, Germany, Sweden, Denmark, Austria, Russia, all the way down to, for example, Australia. Everybody is awakening. So don't think, I know somebody I did a comment earlier on about they're going to come for people like myself who are speaking up for exposing the truth. Well, let them come. Right now, for the last 6 years since I've been doing this, anybody who meets me is either being sacked, removed, or sent on the sick. This is why from 2024, they started a different campaign of trying to slander, slate me, and trying to get the white community to target me to shoot me. What kind of sickness is this? Yet, I'm not going to be holding back. I'm not scared of none of them. Why would I be scared? Remember, why would we all be scared of pedophiles, corruption, or grooming? And we don't care about these titles. Where does it say that you could be these titles and do these heinous crimes? I don't think so. And they need to be reminded you're not in Israel where you've been creating genocide again and again, stealing children, mass murdering again and again. I don't think so. This is England. We're going to fight back. And I need people to pay attention about Palestine because we've been watching this genocide taking place for 80 years. And as a result, now we're all Palestinians. They're coming for all of us in every country because they thought, okay, we've got away with it such a long time. Let's just do a little bit more. Now we'll go for their children. And this is what we're dealing with today. Okay? And I love it the way he's put it. Is it real? Yeah. Is it real? It's not real at all. You understand? And then when you find out, this is where people need to learn. Educate them. And this is why we have this platform. Feel free to ask questions. If you have any anything in your mind that's causing the distractions. And I'm so proud of that young man again, if he's still in here. Brad, 21-year-old, that's awake. I would love for him to get more information. I'm so glad Lone Wolf actually messaged him that, we'll give you more evidence, give him more power. It's all about knowledge. The more knowledge they have, the better it's going to be. The more they can stand and do what they need to do to get the job done. Let me just get somebody else in. I keep requesting everybody. I just want to make sure anybody that wants to ask questions, feel free to do so. But try to stick to the topic. And the topic is we are here exposing pedophiles, corruption, grooming, and social services scandal. And it involves all these heinous crimes that still continue today.